Imagine a spiritual master who has renounced all earthly possessions, a man who begs for his daily meals and sleeps by choice on the floor of a dilapidated mosque. Now picture that same man suddenly waking up and throwing himself into brutal, back-breaking physical labor. In 1910, the remote Indian village of Shirdi was a place of severe austerity. The people here lived lives dictated by the unforgiving heat and the dry earth, with no room for wasted effort. Yet there was their revered ascetic, Sai Baba, gripping the handle of a heavy stone mill. He was aggressively grinding wheat, pushing the heavy top rock in relentless, exhausting circles. The villagers who gathered to watch were entirely baffled. He had no family to feed, no property to his name, and no logical reason to produce bags of flour. Sai Baba was conducting an intervention that operated on a scale the villagers couldn't yet see. Shirdi was facing a deadly crisis. A vicious cholera epidemic was sweeping through the region. It was an invisible threat, and it was closing in on the village borders. Once the labor was finished, Baba ordered the villagers to take the massive pile of freshly ground flour and scatter it continuously along the outer limits of the town. As the flour hit the dirt, the epidemic subsided. The villagers realized that for every rotation of the stone that pulverized the wheat, the strength of the contagion had weakened. The physical friction of the mill had acted as the mechanism to crush the disease itself out of existence. Healing the village from the plague allowed the work to shift from the health of the body to the state of the human soul. The mill now turned toward a more stubborn infection, the human ego, or ahankar. This is the false sense of self that breeds our daily anxieties and destructive habits. Think of the raw, unbroken grains of wheat as that stubborn human ego. Every day, those grains are fed into the grinding, unrelenting friction of human existence. As the heavy stones break the hard grain, they yield the flour of pure consciousness and spiritual wisdom. The destruction of the shell is what allows the energy inside to be released. Spiritual awakening requires a violent, necessary dismantling of the identity we cling to. The mill's anatomy instructs this process. The unmovable lower stone represents karma, our unyielding destiny. The spinning upper stone represents bhakti, our active devotion and choices. Life happens where these forces meet. The central wooden peg is the ultimate truth grounding the system. There is a physical rule to how this tool operates. The grains that scatter outward toward the edges bear the full brunt of the friction and are shattered, but the grains that stay anchored close to that central peg survive the rotation intact. Survival in a world of constant change is a matter of positioning. If you stay anchored to your center, the